Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to get into some more questions from the audience. These are comments that are dropped on various videos, and I will tackle any comments that you guys leave there if there feels like there's really a substantial conversation to be had around that issue. Today though, I saw two comments or three comments that are going to be relating to this recent issue of the SPS reward changes and the proposal that's being voted on currently. I thought there was an incisive comment from somebody, Abnormal Deformals. We're going to look at his comment here in a minute. That to me really encapsulated the conversation and really my thesis or my opinion on the matter. And there was one more too. So let's get into it. Before we do, my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel1258. You can call me 12. Like I said, drop comments on any video with that IGN. And if I read your comment and I see your IGN, I will send you a little thank you afterwards. Thanks, guys. So, so you guys know there's the SPS governance vote that's up that has to do with how the rewards are going to be changed. They want to subdivide SPS rewards per league. So Modern has its own, Wild has its own, and each league will get different amounts of SPS per league. Silver, Gold, Bronze, Champion, Diamond will all have their own pool of SPS with which to draw upon, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like if you're playing at the highest levels of play and your rewards are being eaten by lower levels of play, that doesn't make sense. If you're even playing at silver and bronzies there's a vast number of bronzies and they're stealing, I would argue stealing is a harsh word, hyperbolic word. But if you're playing at silver and a large number of players are playing at bronze, including bot farms, by the way, and they are siphoning rewards out of your the wallet you access, I would argue that's not logical. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So the subdivision of leagues makes sense to me and not to everybody. That's the first kind of concept. And the second is that this will change how many rewards everybody is going to get from an SPS standpoint. From the highest levels, it will be substantially more because there's very few accounts that play at Champion. And at Diamond and Gold and Silver, there'll be probably less than usual because, again, there's a lot of accounts that play those different thresholds, and so the rewards have to be divided across a larger group of participants. I would argue this is great because it ultimately incentivizes and encourages people to grow what they're doing here, which has positive implications for your card assets and your in-game assets, but also not only does it incentivize people to get deeper involved and more invested in the game, but it shows people who are getting invested in the game that you will have a future here because they take care of the people who are investing in the game. And I think those are deeply important conversations that are sometimes overlooked. And with that in the background, I did this video where people just commenting on how people are getting a little upset about how this proposal has come forward and they're not sure they even like the idea. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's under SPS window and you click on proposals here and you can see all available proposals. It's loading right now, but there's only one at the moment and it has to do with the thing I just outlined. And you can upvote it, downvote it if you like. Just under 18 million downvotes at this moment, 124 in favor. 66% threshold of approval is required. So it does appear like this is going to happen and it will just be decided in 3 days, barring sort of some big shocker. So that's what we're talking about. And with that in mind, let's look at some of these comments. Abnormal Deformals says, I'm right there with you, man. I don't really see how the change is bad and why we should cater to people who don't really invest in the game. It took me a while to get my account to where it is, and I would never have invested as much time or money if I saw them leaving the investors in the dirt in order to just gain new users or cater to the bronze and silver leads. And I was bronze and silver for a long time, he says. So important. This is so important that it deserved his own video, but I'm going to read a couple more comments on this as we go. But the idea that, again, you want to know that you're building something like this game. Think about it this way, guys. When you invest in Splinterlands, when you invest either time and attention, and that is investment, or invest financial resources to buy cards and in-game assets, you are investing, you are creating a small business because there's literally revenue being generated off of those assets. So you're literally investing in your own small business. You might not think about it that way, but that's totally what this is. And it's got theoretically endless earning potential, because that the time that you play them and the longevity of your sort of opportunity are not capped. It's not like you own the cards for a year and they evaporate. It's not like they deteriorate with age. There's no wear and tear with these cards, so they literally could generate revenue forevermore. Now that depends on the game's success, and it depends on the game like sustaining itself, but I'm convinced it's gonna. Like, I really believe this game's gonna be here in 20 years. And if you don't think that, then you need to kind of, that's almost, forget about the conversation around SPS rewards or, you know, anything else. Do you think this game has a future? Do you think it's fun? If so, then that is the beginning of a firm foundation with which to invest and to create your own small business in this game, because that's what it is. And when we look at somebody like Abnormal the Foremost who comments and says like, look, I was in silver and bronze for a long time, but I've been climbing out of there, and I would only do that effort, that time, that money, if I really believed that they were going to support this investment, that they weren't going to undermine me at a diamond or a gold or a champion level. And I've heard people say that this new proposal is going to undermine silver, bronze and silver primarily, but ultimately that they will continue forward and they will nerf gold. And then eventually diamond is the implication. That's the implication. It's not directly stated that way, but it's usually implied. And to that I have to say, first of all, that's a community vote. It's not Aggie and Matt decreeing, like would be the case in any other video game, by the way. If you went to play a Blizzard title or a Call of Duty game, and the implication or the changes and implementation of new rules are done with an iron hand. Like there's iron rule. They don't have to ask us, they just implement. But with this, they have to ask us, and then we have to decide. And yes, that we implies certain people, certain commenters and voters that are going to have more vote than you. But that is part of this, and has always been part of this. It's been the writing's been on the wall for months, if not years. And so I don't think we should be surprised that this is happening. I don't think we should be surprised that there's a significant vote in front of us. And I think we better expect there are going to be more hugely significant votes coming down the pipeline for us who hold SPS. And you guys can get involved in that. Is it going to be expensive? Yes. But like Abnormal the Foremost is saying, he understands what he's doing, and he's investing in that because he sees value. And the question is, again, do you think it's fun? Do you think it has a future? And if so, do you see an opportunity for yourself through this to create a business opportunity, a revenue generating stream that could potentially change your life? Because I do. And I'm going to be here in 4 years, and I hope some of you are too. I imagine many of you will. But if you get swayed by the fact that these rewards are being changed, and maybe they are less than they used to be, but are they still good? Maybe they are less than they used to be, but are they still good? That's so important, and I don't necessarily hear that being talked about. And Abnormal the Foremost is really, this is nail in the head stuff, like straight to the core of the issue. If you climb out, and he has climbed out, you can be satisfied with these recognition and this reward that's being offered, theoretically offered, by the way, because that hasn't passed yet, theoretically offered to those of us who are in higher and higher levels. And might they one day nerf gold, as the implication of that prior comment might be? I mean, maybe they would if there was 1 million bot armies fighting in gold because they finally got there. Again, we have to assess these things on an ongoing basis. And that's the importance of decentralized governance. That's the importance of the community vote. And so I would argue that if we want to change the vote, we got to get involved. That means you got to acquire SPS. Investment is certainly an option, but otherwise, if you don't want to do that or can't do that, just enjoy the rewards that do exist, because again, they're not bad just because they've gotten less. They even if this passes, the SPS rewards will be lowered for you at the lower levels, but that doesn't mean the rewards in general have gotten quote unquote bad. The card rewards, the number of loot chests are significant and substantial, and I think life-changing. So all in all, love the comment. And he went one step further. He said, also, bots are not bad. Every single market that has bots, and every single market has bots, and they are managed. Where they are managed, there is more money in that market and much higher values. Every time they get banned, it would drain the market. Then people miss the bots because the value of their assets drops so much. I think this is 100% correct, because the bots are definitely renting cards. The bots are definitely acquiring and sitting on cards so that they can, not all of them, but some of them are either renting or sitting on cards that they've earned through play. And that is a sink for some of the assets in the game. But also, even when they sell cards into the market, people say, well, no, most of them sell the cards and that's why they're so cheap. And I wish they weren't so cheap, because then I'd have more USD in my pocket. Okay, fine. But understand that they are themselves the cheapest form of labor in this game. And that means that they are going to be unlocking cards through their own account activity that is then going to reach the marketplace. It's then going to be rentable or buyable by you. And that is part of the ecosystem that we take advantage of every single day. So when I go in and buy 90 cent, recently I've been buying a ton of these. Let's see, My Explorer. I can check that out. If I go My Explorer and I go rental or sales, because I've been buying a ton of legendaries that are under $1. It's not going to cooperate, but I've been buying a ton of Bilkas. I've been Harklaws. Bilka rents for a bit more than Harklaw, and they're roughly the same price. So I just been loading up on the Bilkas. We can go and buy some more, I guess. I just find that this is a really, really low price for what these are. And also, I have a vision for what this could be in the future. I really strongly believe that we aren't done yet, and that one day these $1 cards were worth way more. And simultaneously that this really is an ecosystem that's going to exist for many years to come. So the only reason I'm affording 90 cent Bilkas, by the way, is not because you or me or everyone else is contributing. If you go through and you look at the names, you see a lot of reoccurring names. What's that about? This guy, there he is. These are bots. And there's another one, on Dandan. These are definitely bots that are listing on the market. There's that fat number one again. Fat number one, A Rogers probably. So these are bots that are farming this card off of the reward system, and then they're putting it on the marketplace, giving you an opportunity to have a really inexpensive legendary in your deck. Without their effort, extracting those cards and then putting them in the marketplace, driving the prices down, these cards would be more expensive, you're right, but that wouldn't be better. It would mean that you'd have to pay more to get these same cards, which I already have, which would set us, the rich, further apart from the not rich. I wouldn't say poor, because for $10 you're already generating revenue. So it's like working from like the top leagues of the wealthiest to like the lowest levels are going to benefit by these cheap cards. And this is an opportunity created by the attention and play and reward extraction done by bots. So they're not exclusively bad. They have to be watched. They absolutely have to be. We have to monitor what they're doing in the system and how they're impacting our economy. And this new reward, or this reward proposal, is in part a result of that. There's been other solutions. Maybe there's a new approach we can try that would allow real world players to benefit more while bots suffer. I wouldn't be against hearing that. If there was a proposal, for instance, yesterday I was reading in my comments, oh man, Gathering the Magic dropped a comment and he said they should cap how many games you can play per day. If they did like 100 games a day, then a real world player would be allowed to play lots of games if they want, or few if they want, but bots would lose the ability to run thousands of games every day. And that would transform an even playing field between the two. And that might be a nerf that I could get behind. I can't really think of any reason why we shouldn't have something like that. It would still allow the bots to do what they want to do and play and extract rewards, but they wouldn't have that distinct advantage. If that proposal came through, it would support the new guy, and I would support that proposal, not because it supports a new guy, because it makes sense. And for the same reasons I would support this proposal, if it ends up happening, I would support it. Let's do one more, because I think I looked at this earlier. Yeah, this is a bit more critical, so I thought this might be a nice way to finish it, because these were kind of in favor of what I was saying. And Nikolai, I'm not sure he agrees. Nicola says, trouble is that SPS will worth same as DEC, will be worth the same as DEC without new players, and new players don't have a reason to join for the new proposal. Okay. So he's saying SPS rewards will fall financially from a US dollar value because there won't be enough people buying them, because there won't be enough influx of new players. I don't think I agree with that. I think the new player craze and the real burst and booms of new signups in this game have either happened when there was a bot exploit opportunity, which is not a good thing, but that has been a trigger for a huge number of accounts to sign up, or two, when card prices are going crazy. And that will happen again. Mark my words. This video, I might be 4 years away. I don't know. But there will come a time when when the amount of card revenue we're generating from a daily perspective, because the card prices are wildly appreciated, people who are brand new today are looking at their accounts that end up being worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. That will happen. And that will spark a whole new audience of people, because that'll spread conversations. Holy cow, this game made me $10,000. What do you mean? Well, I'm Splinterlands and I've been getting these cards, and these NFTs are worth money, and they're actually like selling for hundreds or thousands. That conversation is on my mouth now, and it'll be on your mouth in the future. I feel certain of that. That's my confidence. Again, you have to wrestle with that topic for yourself. But that's where I see the new players coming from. I don't agree with the comment that if SPS goes down in fiat value, that there will be fewer and fewer desired investors. I don't agree with that, but let's go on. So new players don't have any reason to join for this new proposal, both for decentralization reasons nor earning opportunity. So he's saying that there won't be earning opportunity at silver and bronze, so no new players will join. I don't agree. I think there's massive earning opportunity in the form of cards, and it's actually way higher earning opportunity than it ever was before. Period. Full stop. That's not even a debate. It's just truth. It's a fact. And so there is earning opportunity. It's just not what it was. If this proposal goes through, it won't be the same. It will deteriorate some of the earning opportunity that would exist for the lowest levels of play. But again, you can leave the silver and bronze league if you want. 2, you can enjoy the rewards that do exist because they are meaningful. And 3, I guess you don't have to play the game at all, but in my opinion, that's a loss to yourself, because I do think there's a real amazing opportunity here. I think this is a revolutionary technology and an amazing fun game. So, for me anyways, I'm in. And he's saying, I guess, for decentralization, this is a bad thing, because it means that there won't be new players earning SPS, and therefore fewer voters that speak into the conversations around these proposals. I guess I agree with that, though. Nicola, I think that's probably true. The more people who have SPS, the more people who play the game, that will mean the more people who have SPS. The more people who have SPS, the more voices contributing to the conversation around the decentralized governance. So I have to agree with that, but we can contribute, we can buy SPS. We don't need to earn it. Mainly because all the whales will have all the voting power and will always outvote vast majority of lower league players. That's an interesting suggestion. I don't know that I fully agree with it, but of course, on the surface, it's obviously true. So how is it true? It's true because, of course, somebody who's got 1 million SPS is going to wait. They're going to vote how they're going to vote, and that's going to do a meaningful thing to decide each conversation. Sure, that's true, but how are you wrong? Well, I'll tell you, I think it's wrong in the context that I've seen in EOS, which is a different blockchain altogether, but they have governance voting stuff. And what they'll do is there'll be market, how do I put this? There'll be like voices within the market that will essentially consolidate their viewer base. Like, for instance, if we, under my banner, or if fans of Bulldog or fans of Tails or fans of Gank came together and essentially created a DAO which would represent certain interests of the little guy, that's super possible, and in fact happens. And I've seen it happen with EOS in particular. And I think as this decentralized governance persists and develops and evolves, something like this will happen. You'll see people like myself. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but I'm saying there'll be people like myself with a community presence that will lead the charge and say, look, if you want, put your SPS behind me, delegate it to me, and I will vote on issues as I see fit, and I'll have this open dialogue with you on the channel, and we'll make sure that we're representing one another's, and you can undelegate to me at any point. So it's like no risk, but you get that like consolidated power. So like, just like in democracy, when you get out and get the vote out, right? It's like if you get more and more people contributing to the conversation, you can grab a swath of people and in your multitude of participants command a significant voice, whereas individually you don't have it. And so that is a possibility, and I expect that sort of thing will happen. So maybe stay tuned for that, because the little guys could come together and have that larger voice. Meanwhile, we'll run bots with their excess cards gathering more voting power. I guess that's true. Yeah, people will run bots, but I mean, again, bots not only are bots not entirely bad, but they just simply can't be stopped. So any sort of conversation around, oh, bots, they make me upset. It's like, okay, but that's just part of the system, and we can't do anything about it. It's literally the game, and it always has been the game. So not saying I love everything about bots. For those of you who are, dissecting everything I'm saying and saying, gonna kind of take it the wrong way. Bots are problematic in many respects, but we need to intellectually and thoughtfully and with nuance approach how to solve those exploits. And I don't think it's as simple as get rid of the bots, which is so often the retort. At the same time, Aggroed will continue to talk about small players which only extract from the game, and will protect bots because they boost already worthless stats. He very well knows that it is not true, and he just wants to keep peace with bot owners because he would lose them during any fake voting. I mean, that's pretty cynical. All I can say is I just don't agree. I don't get the sense at all that Aggroed is intellectually or, scrupulously, I guess, ill-willed. Like, I don't get the sense, and maybe you would disagree, but I don't get the sense that Aggroed or Matt or any of the team are really malicious, which this to me is implying. Your comment at the latter half of the comment implies deceitfulness, unscrupulousness, and just saying one thing and doing another. I wouldn't say any of that applies to the team. I think they have $15 million roughly in the DAO right now that they could literally cash and keep, because there is no true, up until right now, I guess a week ago, there was no SPS voting. That was just money they had in an account that now is technically, I guess we wouldn't be able to move it without a vote. But do you know what I mean? Like, for 3.5 years, they've been building this thing that is decentralized ownership that allows revenue generating potential for $10 investments and for your time and attention. And now to kind of throw these almost, I would say, insults their way and say, they're deceitful and you're just protecting certain, interest groups. And I mean, man, I don't like that. Doesn't seem fair. So I don't know, Nicola, I just have to disagree with that component altogether. I don't see any merit to that conversation. They could have done a lot more things along the way that would have enriched themselves, including, by the way, things like buying up, like getting access to packs earlier than us. Why not? They're the ones issuing them. They could just sell to themselves before they do to us. They could do things like print themselves extra vouchers. They could do things like they could do a million things that other projects have done that this one hasn't. And they've done time after time after time. They've shown respect to their participants. They've given these weekly town halls, which is allowing transparency. All I see is a group of people who love blockchain and who love gaming and who love the idea of creating revenue generating opportunities for maximum number of people within a video game. That's what I see. I don't see what I think you're pointing at. So maybe I'll leave it there. Guys, thanks so much for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.